Hello, everybody. Hi. So I thought it was time to do another update of what I've been doing. This update will only be I did a shoot trip where I went out to LA and Vegas at the end of April. So it's been a few months since I have actually talked to you guys or updated you on what I've been doing. But I am wanting to just tell you quickly about how that trip went, kind of all about it. And then on my next live stream, I will get into what happened in like June and July. And then at the end of this live stream, I will kind of let you know what's up and coming for me and then kind of what's happening on my next live stream that I'll be doing. So, yeah, I look forward to catching up with all of you, hanging out with you guys. I have had a very fun day. I got to do a lot of errands, but also a lot of really great stuff. I recently went through all of my clothes. And if anyone else is a performer who's watching knows that you can acquire a lot of clothes very fast because, you do a lot of scenes and you got to wear a lot of outfits. And then eventually, you wear it one time and you're like, what do I do with this? So I had a nightmare happening in my closet. So I decided when I got back, it was like last week, I was like, I'm going to go through all my clothes and I'm going to get rid of a whole bunch. So today I had 4 full trash bags, entirely filled trash bags full of clothes. And I went to the Goodwill and I donated them, and that felt good. And then I got to eat breakfast at a new place. I got to have pancake balls for the first time, which I'd never had a pancake ball. They were pretty good, like a little carbaceous, but they were pretty good. I enjoyed that, and then I gamed. If none of you knew, I am not as big of a gamer to be on Twitch, but I do some gaming every now and then. I love RPGs. If you can let me know of any good couch co-op RPGs that you have played, please let me know. I'm always looking for another one to play. I am playing through Divinity, the original sin, the second one right now, and I am at the last act, basically at the last couple fights. Today, I actually got through one of the fights that I've been trying to get through for a while. So that was exciting. Yeah. So yeah, I do game, not very much, but just a little bit, just enough to call myself like a mini gamer. Like I don't do well with first person games. I don't like the anxiety of things coming at me, which is kind of strange because I was in the military, and you'd think that I'm like would have gotten that kind of like drilled out of me, but I still do have a lot of anxiety when things are coming at me. So zombie games, survival games, first-person shooter games, not for me. But RPGs, anything cute where you can customize and craft, I'm there all day. So yeah, that's kind of how my day went. I've been watching the show Yellow Jackets. If you haven't watched it, you definitely should. It is surprisingly good, and it is a premise that you would not think of it with like the basic underlying of the show. It's very good. I'm very intrigued and have binged several episodes today. It's kind of, I know usually the weekends are your day off, but I'm my own boss, so I took another day just to kind of get caught up on stuff, but also, just kind of chill. I don't have a lot of days nowadays where I don't work, so yeah. That's the beauty and the curse of being your own boss. You can take off anytime you want, but when you take days off, it feels like you're failing. So, yeah. Well, let's just dive right into it. So, about 2 or 3 times a year, one of those trips being like XBiz and AVN in January, just because I'm already out there, I plan shoot trips every year where I hire different performers for my own production, RayRayXXX.com. And I also do collaborations with people in both LA and Vegas area. So I had planned to do a shoot trip in end of April, and I have another one coming up in August, which I'll get to at the end of this live stream. But on this April shoot, I actually did LA first. So I went out to LA April 21st through the 24th. I usually try to do several days. That way I can do, whenever I hire someone for a scene, I usually only do that scene on that day, just because those scenes can take anywhere from 6 to 7 hours to film. And I had several performers in both LA and Vegas for this trip hired for my own production. I am in the end game of 2 10-episode series that I'm producing for my own brand, RayRayXXX.com. They are both finally porn for women from the female perspective, female fantasies, very female empowering forward porn. I'm very proud of them. I'm very excited to finally let you guys see all of them, hopefully beginning of next year. I will release one of the series, but I have been actively behind the scenes working on these series for the last year and a half or so. And it's great. I have some really awesome people that I've done some scenes with. You're going to be real impressed. All of these scenes are very in-depth. I rent a cool set, then there's a cool premise which involves a script, and then there are props specific to the scene, and then I hire someone who's pretty well known specifically for the scene, so I exclusively own the content. And then it takes us 6 to 7 hours to film the one scene, and then it will be edited very well and all put together and packaged in an amazing video. So I am excited to eventually release the first series, hopefully in January. But I, in April, went out there with the intent to hire more people for this series, these 2 series that I'm producing. So the first one is I had the opportunity to actually shoot porn in an actual laundromat, which is really cool. I can cross that off the list. Like, I can say, like, I shot porn in an actual laundromat. So before, I think a month and a half before the shoot trip, I went searching for potential sets that I could use, and there were several in LA that were laundromats, and I'm like, we can do something with this. We can make a cool scene out of this. I don't know who is, shooting in a laundromat besides the normal, like, hey, step bro, get stuck in the dryer, but you can get stuck in a dryer in any house, anywhere, not in an actual laundromat. So I went searching for these, and I reached out to several, and a few of them came back and said no. One of them told me a custom rate of $10,000 to rent it for 6 hours with a $2,500 convenience fee, which I, full on blatantly, I understand people at the end of the day need to do what's good for their business. But I don't know anywhere in the world where a laundromat would make that amount of money in 6 hours. That was their concern, is that they would be losing money. And I don't know any laundromat that makes that amount of money in 6 hours. That's good, most part of them. But to me, it felt like blatant discrimination, basically being like, hey, we'll bully you into this price. If you really want to do it, then you have to pay a crazy amount of money, which I'm not willing to do. So I ended up finding a third laundromat set, and he was really cool. The only issue was it was an actual laundromat, so we weren't allowed to shoot. No, go on. Sorry, my dog tried to come over here. She's lovely, but, she's distracting. Anyway, so we weren't allowed to actually shoot during the daytime because that's when the laundromat was actually seeing customers and stuff. So we had to shoot the scene from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning. And I am so grateful that the performer I hired, Harley Hayes, was so accommodating and open to, as well as Salone Stone, who was the extra of the scene. I'd never hired an extra before, were open to coming at that late of an hour. Because there are some performers I know that would be a deal breaker for them. So I appreciate them taking time out of their night and coming and shooting the scene. But when we first arrived at the laundromat, there were like 20 people in it. And I'm like, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to, like, these people need to get out of here. This is cutting into my time that I paid for. And the guy was like, no, it's not an issue. Well, I'm going to lock the door, not let anyone else come in. They should hopefully all be finished up here very soon. You can start to bring your stuff in if you'd like, and you have longer if you need it, just because these people are here. And I was like, okay. So we wait for all the people to leave. And then we filmed the narrative part, which Harley and Salone Stone were great. They played a married couple that was in the laundromat, and I'm basically there. And I don't really want to give away a lot of the narrative because I want you guys to go actually watch the scene, rinse and repeat, and it will be out hopefully sometime next year. But I He was really cool. It was really awesome. We did the narrative part, and then he's like, there was clear glass all the way around. You know, it's a laundromat. You can see inside, see the machines. So he took the cardboard and he kind of just put it up on all the places that you could see. And we were able to actually do full-on sex in the actual laundromat, which was really awesome. The only downside to all of this is that about a month before this, my good friend Taylor Gunner was turning 30. And her husband, Robert Gunner, was like, he's like, do you want to do something cool for her 30th birthday? And I was like, heck yeah, I do. And we were like looking at stuff in LA that could work because they were still there at the time. And they were like, let's do jet skiing. And she's like an adrenaline junkie. So I was like, okay, but I'm not driving. So I didn't drive the jet ski. But the issue was, so we had to film from 9 to like 2:30 in the morning. Then we drove back to our Airbnb, and we had to be at the jet ski place at 7 a.m. the next morning. So we literally got 3 hours of sleep, had to get up, drive the hour because it takes an hour to go anywhere in LA. Like, I don't care who you are. It takes an hour to go anywhere in LA. So we had to sleep 3 hours, get up, go do that. And this jet ski excursion, I'm telling you right now, was one of the most extensive like jet ski things I've ever done. So we went from some part of LA, like the coastal part, 30 miles on a jet ski, which was cool because we got to see sea lions and dolphins and jump over things. And I did not drive because I am a big chicken and I can't do it. I gladly rode behind someone, which was fine. So 30 miles to Catalina Island. And then we got to spend like 3 hours on the island, which was great, but not on 3 hours of sleep. So it was gorgeous. We got to see hundreds of dolphins. It was a great way to like get to the island. The island is cute. If you haven't been there, I highly recommend it. You can rent golf carts and go all over the island. They got one. We were doing scenic drives. I actually fell asleep on the golf cart, standing up for a while because I was so tired. And then we had to put our wetsuits back on and drive the 30 miles back on the jet ski, which was fun, but was highly exhausting. It was like 7 hours of that day. And we finally got back to our Airbnb at the end of that night, and we just like passed out. And I'm really glad we were able to spend her 30th with her. It was very special. I'm really glad about it, but it was very, very exhausting. But it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. I highly recommend it if you're ever in that area. It wasn't that expensive. You can definitely ride with someone if you wanted to and cut down on the cost. But for the amount of money you spent, it definitely was worth it, especially, you know, you can go as crazy as you want on the jet ski or not. Like, you can go like full ham and jump waves and jump over whatever you want. I didn't. Luckily the person I was with didn't do that, but yeah. And then you get to spend time on the island, and you know, you get at least 3-4 hours on the island, which is really cool. So highly recommend doing it. I recommend doing it with a lot more sleep, but it was enjoyable, and I'm glad that we ended up doing it. And then that was kind of rounded out my LA shoot trip. I was supposed to do another scene, but it kind of just fell through. They fall through sometimes. So that was sad, but it happens. Like, I am fully prepared on any shoot trip for things to never go as planned. You adapt, you overcome, you change things, and you run with things on the fly. You just kind of have to, especially in an industry like this. Things can change real quick, real fast. So we traveled from LA to Vegas on the 24th. I had set up a scene with Finny the Fox. If you know of him, you know that he is full on into the fox. He has a fox head. He plays directly into that. So I was like, you know what we can do? I like to decorate. I'm good at decorating, I think. Pretty good. You know, normally if I have to ship everything, it's not as good as if I could have drove with it. So I did have to ship most of the decorations that I used for the scene. and it wasn't as good as I would have liked, but it worked for the scene, you know, the basic part of the scene. So I was like, I'll decorate it like a forest. I'll dress like a fox. You dress like a fox, and we'll just be horny foxes, and we'll just fuck each other, and it'll be fun and light. And I think I want to call it like I don't know what I want to call it. Like, what does a fox say is cute? But I also want let's see, maybe Vixen. But Vixen is also like an actual like porn brand, so I don't know if I really want to like, you know, get in trouble. So I might not do that. But we'll think of some kind of title. It hasn't been edited yet. I have like such a big queue of videos that need edited right now. And so there's a lot more good content coming from me, but that scene has not been edited. So I have not had to think long and hard of a title yet, but I will get around to it. But basically, we arrived, I decorated the room for the scene. He comes over, we both dress like foxes, and then we just fuck each other in the room that I decorated. It's cute, it's fun, it's light. He's awesome. I'm really glad I got to shoot with him. It was my first time interacting with him. I really liked it. I hope to collaborate with him again sometime. Super professional, great guy. And yeah, so the next scene I did there was I am doing another series. It's about it's a boy-girl series. So my other series is a girl-girl series. This is a boy-girl series. So sometimes they're boy-girl anal scenes. Sometimes they're just normal boy-girl scenes. But they're all hired performers. They're all like what I said above, where it's in depth with a cool set. There's always a script. There's unique props. There's always really well talent hired exclusively for my productions, RayRayXXX.com. And so the scene I did after this was I hired David Lee, and I've been trying to shoot with David Lee for a while. I think it'd been like a year and some change since I had first reached out to his agency about hiring him. The first time he got sick, the second time I got sick, and then luckily, like third time's the charm, it all worked out. So I dress up like a post officer, and I have a package, and surprisingly, what's in the package, you'd have to see the scene to figure it out. But we have a cute conversation. The package is involved, and then, you know, we do a very unique sex scene. David is awesome. I'm really glad I got to actually have interact with him, have him in a scene. He is a very good performer, and I'm very excited for that he will be in another project that I'm doing in a few months from now. I'm really glad I made a good connection, and he's awesome. And so look for that scene when it comes out. So it will probably be out sometime next year, depending on how everything goes editing wise and when I want to actually push things. So hi guys, just gonna take a break real fast and say hi to Instagram people. Thank you for following me, being on here, interacting with me, and I love my fans, and thank you for everything you guys do for me. So anyway, that's for all my fans on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. All of you guys, because I can't do what I do without you guys. So thank you. Then that night after my David Lee shoot, I shot my last scene to round out a DVD that I'm producing for my Green Door DVD productions, because all DVDs have to have at least 90 minutes. So I was like, well, let's just do another scene. We'll round out the DVD, and then we can just put them all together in a collection, and they can be released. So eventually there will be a DVD of all of my Green Door gangbang scenes that I have done. And they're all dark, moody gangbangs, multiple guys, lots of cum. This last one actually has two women. It has me and Rebel Ryder. If you don't know who Rebel Ryder is, you should go look her up right now, because she's amazing. And not only is she just one of my good friends, but she's an awesome performer. She's sweet. She's kind. She's every awesome acronym you can think of, or adjective. I mean, every kind of awesome adjective you can think of. And I am really glad that we're so close. But yeah, so we did a scene with four guys, two for each of us. It was kind of a mirrored scene where we're doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing to us. And that will eventually be on a DVD. It has been, the rough draft of the DVD has been made and will eventually be being put towards production. So look for that here soon in a couple months. Hopefully you'll be able to get your hands on a Green Door DVD that has all these fun, dirty gangbangs on them, as well as one featuring Rebel Rider. So yeah, there's that. And then to round out my, the last day that I had, well, not the last day. So the next day I had another hired shoot, which was an all-day affair. And so I hired Danny Steele for a scene. Danny was also very good. I'm very glad that his agency allowed me to hire him. And he is in such good shape. Let me tell you guys, the positions we were able to do, at one point he's like full on planking and like fucking me in the ass. It's like unbelievable. It's unbelievable, some of the positions we were able to do. Like, just like, it's going to be some really hot, really good footage. At one point we were just vibing. Like, I think I got in my subspace. It's weird to talk about subspace when you're not in BDSM, because a lot of people who are in BDSM, especially if they get flogged or, you know, beaten by anything, they go into what they call the subspace, where they're in bliss, like ultimate bliss, and they're just sitting there and absorbing it all, and they're just in this wonderful, blissful state. I have actually gotten to subspace while being fucked very hard, very aggressively, which I like, which is my thing. And that happens a few times in the scene with Danny. We had a very good connection. We vibed really well. And he's just an overall really great performer. Like I said, we were able to do some really cool positions. And I find out that he is not actually the best roommate for me. I told him not to fuck hoes, and he chose to actually fuck a hoe, so he had to leave. But it's fun. We have a cute interaction at the beginning, and then I am literally the worst roommate that you could ever imagine. I do lots of things that are ultimately, you know, not conducive to a good roommate, or making sure somebody does not fuck hoes. So I basically, you know, coerce him into fucking me and then telling me he has to leave because he fucked hoes. Anyway, it's a fun scene. It'll be out sometime next year. If you ever get a chance to collaborate with him or get him on your set, I highly recommend it. He's great, very good, in shape, can do any position you want, just overall awesome guy. And then the last scene I did was with Rebel, because she stayed with me at the Airbnb I was staying at for those few days. And if you've seen any of our stuff, if you've seen Rainbow Sluts, if you've seen Candy Zone, eventually there'll be another one where we fist each other. I think I'm going to call it Juicy Fruit, because we're all dressed up like fruit, and we all like fuck each other with big toys, and then we fist each other, and it's just like a freaking crazy, like fun, bright scene, but we're doing really dirty stuff. So this scene was supposed to be a little bit better. The pool that I had like gotten for the scene didn't arrive in time, so we had to adapt and get a different pool. It was supposed to be jungle themed, so we did our best adapting to the pool we had. And we, you know, do some unique fisting, some fun toys, some like cool stuff. And it's going to round out, hopefully, a DVD that I do minus the fisting and any of the piss content. You're not allowed to put that on DVDs. So I will probably be putting a DVD out eventually about all of those scenes minus the fisting and the piss content, just because it's not allowed. But yeah, I really enjoy doing those scenes with her. She is very kind, very accommodating. She knows so much. She always brings amazing toys, and she is really nice at fisting. She is super slow and knows how to put it in softly, especially because like she was like the second person to ever fist me in my ass. So if you've ever done it or seen it happen, there are better ways of doing it than others, and she does it very nicely, and I am glad that she has fisted me the last 2 times that I've got it done. So yeah, so that'll be coming out soon. That'll probably round out a DVD. I might eventually do another one of those scenes just because I like them and they're dirty. Might incorporate a guy at some point. We'll see. And And yeah, that kind of rounds out my LA and Vegas trip that I did in April. So I was pretty busy then. I did a good amount of shooting, got a good amount of people done, a good amount of episodes done for the series I'm producing. And right now I only have a handful of those left. So I'm looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, which is great for me. I never thought I would actually produce 2 10-episode series, especially just me, no backing, just myself doing so. But I am very proud of it, and I am excited to drop all of it on you guys because it has some really good people in it. So that being said, if you have been following me in the last month or so, you know that I have made a podcast. So my good friend Rebel Rider and one of my other good friends, Kevin Phillips, have decided to help me on a crazy endeavor of we are all the hosts of Deep Thoughts podcast. So I thought about a year ago, I thought what was lacking in the porn industry was there is no outlet for the public or other people or just other people in our field to see us as human beings, to see us as people who have feelings and emotions and all of these things that everybody feels, because a lot of people put porn stars on pedestals. It's the same with celebrities. They put them up here and it's like they don't have the same emotions, same things that people deal with on a daily basis. And yes, we do. We're human beings. So I wanted to start a podcast where it could normalize us as human beings, that we, and so I was the first episode of the podcast. So you can go to the first episode and learn all about my story. So basically how the podcast goes is we have a guest come on, we have them tell us who they are, their story, everything about them. And then we kind of go into the nitty gritty of things. So like, we go, what's good about the industry, what's bad about the industry, what's ugly about the industry. We talk about anything from discrimination to being disowned. We talk about harassment, sexual assault. What do you do to combat burnout? All of these things that normal people on a daily basis deal with. So we are talking about some very sensitive topics, some hard topics, but things I think that need to be talked about and just aren't. Because this industry is very hard on your mental health. It's very appearance driven. It's very what people can take from you, bits and pieces. And we need to have the public see us as people who we have all these emotions. We have mental health problems. We have all these things that the normal public human beings have, and we need to have more resources to combat them. So that is why I wanted to make the Deep Thoughts podcast. And we are about to release the 7th episode, and I'm very excited. Hazel Grace's episode will be releasing on Wednesday, the 7th. So I'm very excited for you guys to hear her story. I think she's amazing, and I'm really glad that we've gotten so close. So, but that being said, a new episode drops every Wednesday, just give or take. Sometimes if we don't have enough episodes just because we're up and coming, or we might skip a week, but normally it's every week on Wednesday. And you can find all of that for my podcast on my Ray stuff. But if you look for it, Deep Thoughts podcast, we're on all the major platforms, and we're on YouTube. So it's both video and audio podcast. And we're on all the major social media. I promote it every day. So if you want something to listen to, or you're bored, or maybe you work out, or you have a long trip or whatever, it is, I think, pretty intriguing, pretty cool. I got to interview some of my friends and get to know them a little bit better. And all the people's stories of why they do what they do are very interesting. So keep that in mind if you have time. It also has been picked up by a network. The full Swap network picked it up. It's on Thursday at 9 and 3 Central Time. So go watch it or listen in on their network if you'd like. And that's basically what's kind of going on in my world. And I'll just talk about what's up and coming, and then kind of like what the next live stream will be about, and I'll let you guys get on with your night. So yeah. So what's up and coming right now? I'm actively working on DVDs. I have a DVD distribution deal through Pulse, and I am about to be releasing my first couple DVDs with them, so they will be coming out soon. I have DVDs in production, anything from girl cosplay, boy girl anal gangbang cosplay, anything you name it. I have a DVD that's going to eventually be out about it. So um, so look for that. I will be promoting them heavily when they actually get out for production and when you can buy them. And if you come and see me at any of my conventions, I will have a lot more DVDs to choose from than the two I have now through Blazed Studios. So that's exciting, and feels good for a little company like me to be, able to produce DVDs, especially just of my content. So those will be coming here soon. Like I already said, the Hazel Grace for my podcast, her episode will be releasing on Wednesday, August 7th. So look for that. She's amazing. Her story is awesome, and she has a lot of great insights on the industry as a whole. I'm doing another shoot trip in August. I have several people hired. I have Anna Fox, Avery Jane, and then I am looking for a few more collaborations. So I will be actively trying to plug people in before that happens at the end of this month. And the most coolest thing I have going on right now is that Hazel and I, as crazy as we are, have decided together we are co-producing a scene, and it is going to be filming in LA in mid-September. We have about 8 to 9 performers hired for the scene. We have an entire production team hired for the scene, and it is going to be awesome. I am very excited. It's going to be a lot and stressful and everything, but she is so organized, kind of planning everything out. Us together, I feel like we will be able to accomplish this. And I'm very excited about it because it is something that, for one, I love that we get to recreate, but two, I am the only white performer in the scene. And I think that really matters a lot because I don't think performers of color, just people in color, get their due most of the time. So I'm very excited to be highlighting performers of color in this scene. So yeah, that's going to be happening. I don't want to talk too much about it, but we are co-producing a very cool scene happening in mid-September. So look out for that. And then the last thing is I will be at New Jersey Exotica October 25th through the 27th. I will have my own booth. If you are going to be in the area or thinking about going to Exotica, I would love to meet you. I don't charge for photos. I have lots of great swag. I have everything from jerseys to stickers to buttons to water bottles, everything in between. And I always have a cool dildo ring toss, so you could even come and try to win something for free. And then you just get to meet me, hang out with me, get a photo with me. I love it. I love meeting my fans. So I would love to see each and every one of you if you'd like to go. Yeah. And so I'll just talk about what's happening in the next live stream, and I'll let you guys get on with your night. So my next live stream, I don't know exactly when that will be, hopefully in a few weeks from now. I'm going to be talking about, I did a shoot trip in Tampa in June with Mark Blaze. So I'm going to talk in depth about kind of those scenes and how that went. And then I went to Miami Exotica right after that and did some shooting. So I'll be talking about that and a few other things. And I am so grateful for all of you. And thank you for hanging out with me. And I hope you all have a wonderful night. And yeah, if you haven't, look into Deep Thoughts. I'm pretty proud of it. I'm excited to see where it goes. The more traction it gets, the bigger it gets, the more public we can be seen and normal we can be seen as porn performers. So check it out if you get a chance. And thank you guys again for everything. Have a good night. Bye. Bye, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me.